And appointment letters for worker category also should be there. However, in case now without a government lockdown, if a business does a lockdown because of any situation, COVID, or layoff would be applicable. Layoff under Industrial Dispute Act would be applicable on those workmen. And for that, you may refer to my previous webinar also, which was in detail regarding workmen and non-workmen. For layoff, it will be 50% wages for the factory. And for shops and establishment, it will be driven by the appointment letters or a contractual terms. In case you don't have, I believe it should be 50% wages to be paid to these employees. From force majeure, if we see, which comes to the part is, now we are not able to take care of the strength also. So one is that we can create a revenue driven model. I say that try and keep as much employees as you can, create something where, however, unfortunately, for any reason you want to terminate the contract, that is the termination of the service contract itself, then again they are twofold, one for workmen, one for non-workmen. For workmen, either that person should be on a probation, contractors, or fixed term contract. You can do it very easily. However, other than that, Industrial Dispute Act would be applicable the way it was applicable previously prior to COVID. And we have to take care of, in case there is a surplus, we can do retrenchment. But for that, we have to pay 15 days salary for each competitor of service. People are closing down the units also. People are closing down the departments also. That would also be done. And for that matter, again, a closer compensation will be applicable. Now, if we talk about termination of a non-workman, that is manager, administrative, or a supervisory staff, that would be a plain contractual terms. But I believe you should have words with these employees first. Have words with them that, this is a trying situation and this was unforeseen. We never wanted to do this, but we have no choice to do it. Terminate, instead of terminating, ask them to resign. Let them go in a manner so that tomorrow their employment could be secured at some other place. So purely a contractual terms, that is the appointment letter, which has to be adhered to. In case there is no appointment letter, then there is a Shops and Establishment Act, which talks about notice pay that should be paid or should be given. You can terminate those employees. I have some certain sample termination letters vis-a-vis probation, fixed term employment, and non-workmen termination letters, which will be a part of the documents. Now coming to the biggest aspect which the HR department, which the occupier, which the owner of any organization is facing today is that, okay, I've opened my business operation, but what about COVID? In case somebody gets affected by COVID, what kind of a liability this will be on my head? So for that purpose, there should be a health and safety committee specifically for COVID-19 situation, which takes care that everybody is adhering to the provisions and guidelines given by the MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, or a state government. There should be sanitizer, there should be face mask, there should be checkpoints for the temperature. Then there should be certain documentations for this, because that will be required in the court premises for sure, those called documentation. So the documentation would be like a health and safety committee declared that these are the people who are responsible to take care of the health and safety vis-a-vis COVID-19 is concerned. Then there should be documentation of these committees, which should be on a register or anything that this committee has been done, this committee has been made, and then every week that committee should report to the occupier. So occupier by means is a director or a partner vis-a-vis a factory is concerned, vis-a-vis a shop and establishment is concerned, that the owner of that shop and establishment. By owner, I means any of the director of a company or a partner or a proprietor. That proprietor, owner, and that occupier or the person who was having the managerial control over that establishment should take care of this part, that all these things are in a continuous process, has been adhered to and has been audited. This is a legal requirement for any occupier to take care of. So in the documents, I've given one of the draft of creating this kind of a safety committee. Then secondly, for those who are the occupier of any factory or the owners of any shop and establishment, delegate the responsibility to someone who was actually doing it. For factory, it will be factory manager. For shop and establishment, it will be the person who are managing the show in that shop and establishment. Delegate that responsibility in detail to those people so that tomorrow, in case of any legal requirement, you could show up before the court and say that this was the person whom I have delegated the responsibility, and this person has been delivering me the audit reports every week. So one of the document in the draft documents are delegation of that kind of authority and the responsibilities there. Now vis-a-vis lease deed and force majeure, this topic is there and has been taken care by the Supreme Court way back in 1950s itself, rather than 1947 itself when there was a partition. From there on, there are judgments, clear-cut judgments on this aspect. A recent judgment of Delhi High Court, I have attached along with the documents. I have highlighted the points therein that what they talk about. So I'm giving a brief detail of that so that I'm giving in a very layman language so that it can you can understand that part. So in case there is a contract which is a contingent contract, in the sense अभी वो contract तो हो गया है but उसका execution होना है. So I'm talking about certain commercial contracts first, then I'll come to lease deeds. So there is a contract whose execution is to happen in the near future. Supposingly, I asked for one of the products, see, I want black coats, 100 black coats within a week. I get into a contract with the manufacturer to supply those 100 black coats. However, unfortunately, COVID-19 happens on manufacturing unit itself. So that will be force majeure for sure. However, in case he says, okay, I have those things there with me without a manufacturing unit because I have already have that in my stock, but the price of the black coats has gone high now. So we have contracted for 2 rupees. Now the value has gone to 5 rupees. It's a hypothetical example, 2 and 5. There will be no force majeure. Meaning thereby, अगर कोई contract execute ही ना हो पा रहा हो तो force majeure है. लेकिन अगर कोई contract execute होने में difficulty आ रही हो या उसकी sale price या purchase price में difference आ रहा हो या कोई ऐसा issue आ रहा हो तो कोई भी force majeure नहीं है. Court says very specifically, whatever your loss or gains may be, you have to continue with that contract. That is a business risk taken. Until and unless force majeure का वो clause आपके उस contract में लिखा हुआ है और उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि अगर force majeure होता है तो ये होगा. तो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट चलेगा। सपोजिंगली इसी कोर्ट वाले कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ये बात लिखी होती कि भाई अगर फोर्स मेजर हो जाएगा तो आपको मैं 1 हफ्ते में नहीं, मैं 1 महीने में दूंगा, या ये लिखा होता दूंगा तो 1 हफ्ते में, लेकिन प्राइस फ्लक्चुएशन को आपको बियर करना पड़ेगा या मुझे बियर करना पड़ेगा, वॉट एवर इट वुड बी। तो उस केस में फोर्स मेजर उसी तरीके से लगता। सो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में फोर्स मेजर दे रखा है कमर्शियल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में तो उस तरीके से लगेगा, नहीं भी दे रखा है और वो नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिबल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया है तो भी फोर्स मेजर लगेगा। लेकिन वो नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिबल और कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में टर्म्स नहीं है उसके बारे में तो फोर्स मेजर नहीं लगेगा। This is commercial. So what it is important is that you should have certain terms in your commercial contracts with any of the vendors, whether you're a purchaser or a seller or XYZ, for whatever reasons there is a commercial contract, there should be a force majeure clause and which should define that what is going to be the future in case this thing happens. Now with force majeure, one more thing is force majeure वो होता है जो आपने expect नहीं किया हुआ। तो कोविड-19 आज के लिए कोई एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हैं तो वो फोर्स मेजर नहीं है। आज आपको पता है कि कोविड-19 है तो उसके लिए एक स्पेशलाइज एक और टर्म रखें अपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कि कोविड-19 के कारण अगर वापस से लॉकडाउन आता है या हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे किसी तरीके से इसका इफेक्ट पड़ता है तो दें। Now coming back to the lease deeds, the rentals. So code is very clear that if there is a lease deed, if it's a registered, first situation is in case there is a lease deed and it does contain, which is a registered and written lease deed, and it does contain this force majeure term, then that term will prevail. In case it says that due to this, if force majeure happens, no rent will be payable, then no rent will be payable. But if the lease deed, registered written lease deed is silent about that aspect, then in COVID-19 condition, there is 2 points which is there. Either you leave the premises and get over from and want to continue with the rental part, then court says that no, you have to pay the rents. Recently, somebody has gone to the Delhi High Court saying that no rent should be paid. And one more interesting part, he said the order should be passed that no rents should be paid and further nobody should be removed from the premises, and that should be, the order should be, on a loudspeaker clarified to the public. The Honorable Delhi High Court was pleased to dismiss that writ petition with a 10,000 rupee fine. So law is crystal clear on that aspect. In 1947 also this matter came up. There was because of a partition.